somebody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Countryside GM Auto Group. We make it easy. Come on over to Beaver Dam. We make it easy. We have the car or truck for you. Countryside GM Auto Group.
With Countryside Auto Group in Beaver Dam, you can expect great care and service long after the sale. They treat you like family at Countryside Auto. When you buy a new vehicle at Countryside, they're going to take it through the car wash for you absolutely free. Affordable maintenance, local names and faces, and the lowest price on every windshield. Countryside Auto Group, exit 135 off 151 north of Beaver Dam, where savings come standard.
Countryside GM Auto Group. Countryside GM Auto Group. We make it easy in Beaver Dam.
Legend tells of a yearly tournament fought with wits and wisdom, with a final prize of $500.
Legend also tells that it's also best to think with a drink.
Think with a Drink traveling trivias at the Hitching Post in Manchester, Wednesday, May 29th. Sign up with your team from 5:30 to 6 and trivia until 7:30. Must be 21 and older. Win a $50 gift card to the Hitching Post with Think with a Drink traveling trivia. Think with a Drink is brought to you by The Boathouse, Maury's Bar, the Hitching Post, Rock River Tap, the Thirsty Beaver, and Bayside Supper Club.
Why do patients choose Columbus Community Hospital's Prairie Ridge Center for Orthopedic Excellence for joint replacement surgery? Improved quality of life. 96% of Prairie Ridge joint replacement patients report mild to no pain when walking. The national average is 89%. 88% of Prairie Ridge joint replacement patients go directly home. The national average is 66%. Columbus Community Hospital and Prairie Ridge Health Clinic offers a 5-star, top-performing, high-quality program that will help you reclaim your life.
Now also serving in Marshall.
This year's annual Dodge County Brunch is being hosted by the Robert Schwann Family Farm at W5660 County Road S. Juneau. Sunday, June 2nd from 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. This year's menu features scrambled eggs with ham and cheese, pancakes, a variety of cheeses including deep-fried cheese curds, as well as milk, juice, and ice cream sundaes. There will be activities for all ages, including music by Keith Getterman Band. Busing is available at Dodge County Administration Building in Juneau. Sponsored by the Dodge County Dairy Promotion Committee. Be sure to like them on Facebook.
If you're ready to be part of a team that has a growth mindset, Good Karma Brands Beaver Dam is looking for an experienced marketing professional with a success-driven attitude, is passionate about building strong relationships throughout the community, and strives to help local organizations grow and strengthen brands. GKB Beaver Dam consists of legacy radio stations, WBEV and WXRO, and digital property, dailydodge.com. Interested candidates should send cover letter and resume to careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Bring the family to Beaver Dam Community Hospital's Safety First Open House on Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to noon. Free paper shredding from 9 a.m. until 11. Expired medication drop-off center, CPR instruction, and for the kids, a bike rodeo. Kids can bring their own bikes. Med-flight helicopter tours at 11 a.m. and a chance to meet local EMTs, firefighters, and police. For more detailed information, visit bdch.com/event/safety-first-open-house.
Check out the latest information on station contests at dailydodge.com. Brought to you by Hometown Glass and Improvements.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. We'll see cloudy skies here this afternoon with a high in the upper 50s. Winds out of the north at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance for some rain showers here late. Mostly cloudy skies, a low near 50. And northeast winds around 5 to 10. By Wednesday, a slight chance for some rain showers. Partial sunshine develops, a high around 67. And northeast winds around 5 to 10. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on your hometown station AM 1430 WBEV. Currently, it's 53.
1236 from AM 1430 WBEV, streaming online at dailydodge.com. It is time now for today's community comment. Here's your host, Craig Warmbold.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon. Welcome to Community Comment. On Community Comment today, we take a look at the recipients that will be recognized during the Beaver Dam School District's Wall of Fame Awards ceremony this Sunday. Coming up a little later in the program, a couple Friends of Education are being recognized. We've got representatives from the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International here. We'll be talking about the recognition they'll be getting. Also, Tom and Judy Heffron are in the studio here with us today, and we'll be looking forward to sitting down with those Friends of Education and discussing everything that they've done in the community to help children with their education. But first up, we've got a gentleman who's had a successful 30-year career in Hollywood in sound design and editing. Among the credits of his work include NCIS, Lonesome Dove, The Tuskegee Airmen, Quantum Leap, Murder, She Wrote, just to name a few. He's being named the Outstanding Alumnus for 2018 in the Beaver Dam Unified School District. We want to welcome into the conversation Gary Mihail. Gary, thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for inviting me.
We are very excited to have you here. It's quite an impressive resume. You're going to be recognized by your school this Sunday at a special ceremony. Well, unfortunately, tickets are no longer available, as I understand. Community Comment listeners that contact Mary Posthuma by the end of this day today will be able to get 1 or 2 spots squeezed in for this Sunday's banquet. But after that, that's all she wrote, like Murder, She Wrote, if you will. We've got a live studio audience here today, too. We don't really get that privilege here too much. A note to our listeners on terrestrial radio, AM 1430 WBEV. If you've got access to an internet connection, feel free to check out our video stream. We're on dailydodge.com under the video tab. And if you missed that today, you'll be able to find that after the program as well. Without further ado, Gary, tell us a little bit about the honor of being recognized by your high school as an outstanding alumnus.
It's very different compared to being recognized by peer groups. You know, they look at you from a different point of view as far as what you bring to the table, shall we say. Now, from your high school, it's a very different thing because they see it from how you were nurtured and what kind of road or path you ended up on to make that journey into life where it becomes your career.
So that journey started here in Beaver Dam. Well, maybe not quite here. Were you born in Beaver Dam?
I was born in Fond du Lac.
Okay, and you came to Beaver Dam when you were how old?
Second grade age, so.
Second, and you would have went to one of the elementary schools here in the Beaver Dam School District?
St. Stephen's.
St. Stephen, okay, very good. And you graduated 8th grade from St. Stephen?
Correct.
And then you went to Beaver Dam High School?
Correct.
4 years at Beaver Dam High School. How was your experience there?
It was sort of like sorting out life because, you know, you're taking college prep courses and you're sort of basically preparing you for the next step in your life, which is going to be college. So more or less, it's sort of like, you know, finding what's going to be your specialty in life, or at least what your specialty wants to be. So, and then getting guidance from your teachers and from your parents to make that happen.
Do you feel that you got that guidance from, well, you know, the staff at the Beaver Dam High School?
Yes, because my dad and I struck a deal. Basically, because my dad being a salesperson, he said my senior year, so what do you want to do? Of course, I wanted to do art because he himself was really good in art, as well as my grandmother, his mom. But it was sort of like Dad had to have a plan B, so we put what we put in the deal was my senior year, because you have extra hours available to do things. I took my first art class, and then his goal was, well, you should take a class in accounting and data processing, because data processing allegedly is going to be computers of the future. So at about April or so, we put an appointment together with all the instructors that were for my purpose, and they all said I had what it took, so which made it easy for me to decide what I wanted to do.
The experience in high school, are there teachers that stick out to you?
Yes, well, my art instructor at the time was Jerry Camps, and then the business people were Barbara Finsky and then Lauren Appenfeld. Those were the three people I had to persuade that I was going to do what I wanted to do.
And educators in the studio audience, we could all acknowledge that these are fine educators that we're talking about. Jerry Camps he was one of your art teachers, obviously.
Correct. Yeah.
Who had passed away in the last year or so.
That's what I understand. Yes.
The new Beaver Dam Area Community Theater building, the Fine Arts Center, is named after Jerry and his wife Annette.
That's great.
It's certainly one of the feathers in the cap in Beaver Dam that I would encourage you to check out during your week here. Or so I don't know if there's a production. We'll have to see if there's a production that's going on the stage during that time. What role did art then play in your formative years after high school?
Well, I was accepted for art, and I went to UW Oshkosh for that. And within doing that, it gave me all my groundings. And then it was more towards the end of my BFA career at Oshkosh, where I was really involved in printmaking. I was experimenting with a lot of different techniques. Printing on canvas was kind of different back in that day, and then making large stretcher pieces out of small pieces of printing to create an environment that I would hang on the wall. So that was kind of like putting a portfolio together, which ultimately would, which is kind of like a selling product you would use if you were going to go on to graduate school.
Did you go to graduate school?
I did. I was accepted to Otis Art Institute of Parsons School of Design for my Master of Fine Arts degree.
And where is that?
It's right in Los Angeles.
Okay, so you went to Los Angeles after 4 years, presumably at UW Oshkosh.
Yeah, I ended up going to school at Los Angeles in 1979.
1970. What was Los Angeles in 1979 like for a boy coming from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin?
It was quite an eye-opener because I haven't really done much traveling, so it's sort of like being wide-eyed and realizing the world is your oyster.
Yeah. Well, tell us about an early experience that you had in Los Angeles. A formative one, obviously, for you.
Yeah, the traffic was bad, so they always say stay off Highway 405 at the time. So, but it was more or less just being aware, your surroundings and taking in all the nuances and cultural, different things going on in the art world of Los Angeles.
So here you are. It sounds like you're more of a visual artist at this point.
Yes, it was always visual, but the background was such that because of growing up in a family where my dad had his own TV and appliance business back in Beaver Dam here, so I was always involved in electronics and music, and of course I was always playing in the grade school band at at St. Stephen's, and then of course the high school band at the high school. So I always had a big love for music and playing instruments and electronics, so it was basically when I got it really helped be part of that visual thing as far as branching out and being very conceptual.
Well, what musical instrument did you play?
Okay, so in grade school, again, it was another deal my dad made with me. He goes, the grade school starting up a band, you want to play? And I said, well, absolutely. He goes, well, what instrument did you want to play? I said, well, I want to play drums. And he goes, no, that's not going to happen. I said, well, why did you ask me? Because I wanted to hear what you had to say. Well, it turned out he was a clarinet player, and of course we had 2 clarinets, and he goes, and that way I can practice with it. I go, gee, thanks, Dad. So it was that, and that's how it started. But in 8th grade, because of the whole British invasion, all the music that was going on in the 60s, as far as that evolving, I did join a rock band and did play drums and taught myself how to play drums.
Because not a lot of room for clarinet in most rock bands.
It's not as too sexy.
No. do you still play musical instruments today?
I haven't played in a while. I keep thinking about going back to drums because I have a real passion for it.
What was the name of the business that your dad owned?
It's called Mihail TV and Appliance on Front Street.
That was on Front Street, like right in the downtown area there.
Yeah.
Have you driven by Front Street since you've been here and seen the old, what store's in there now? Any idea?
I think his business turned out to be a dentist.
Is it a dental? Is orthodontist over there on the Front Street? Of course, your mother's here.
Yes.
You get back to Beaver Dam every once in a while.
I've been getting back more often, at least a couple times a year.
All right. So you're in Los Angeles. It's the early 80s, essentially. How do you get from being a visual artist, a young kid living in Los Angeles, to more of a sound artist?
Well, okay, that's interesting, too. It's sort of like, after being there for 2 weeks, of course, in grad school, you're always assigned to do different projects, and one of the projects was to go see some movies. So at the time at the Cinerama Dome, the movie Apocalypse Now was playing by Francis Ford Coppola. And I had seen a couple movies before there, like the first Star Wars movie, the first Alien movie. I think the first Star Trek movie came out. So sound was sort of evolving. It wasn't more or less, it's more than just being a background element. It was becoming more of a audio experience. And so after seeing that movie at Cinerama Dome, because they have a great surround system in there, so everything is like moving. It has a very active environment for sound. So I marched into the dean's office that Monday, and our dean was brand new. He's just from Boston College, and I said, I'm changing my major. And he goes, you just got here. I go, I know. I said, but the program is only 2 years long, and I need to make some decision making. He goes, well, what do you want to do? And I said, sound design. He goes, well, that degree isn't offered here. I know I'm going to create my own department for that. And I sold him on it. Kind of learning from Dad, I guess, how to sell.
Wow. Is that something? So how do you create your own department? Do you have to tap existing resources? Or do they bring new teachers in for you? How does that work?
No, basically, he says, well, each student has like a 3-person faculty advisory committee. And he says, well, if they're on board with it, I'm on board with it. So I had to convince them and basically put together a project, which was like an installational piece with slide projectors and sound and just dealing with an environment of Los Angeles. It's kind of the theme. So I just went around and recorded a lot of different things and assembled it in my studio, and then I presented it to them. Then they huddled in the corner and came out and goes, okay. So they said, well, how are you going to, because it's not like you're doing a painting where you can see progress. And I said, well, I'm going to put together like blueprints of the studios and start putting together like different things to create like a visual so they can understand what was going on conceptually, what was I proposing to do for my various projects.
And this is art. This is auditory art, essentially.
And then just to kind of, that was like the first year, so each year, to go into the second year, I had to do something for that to be accepted. But mainly, my thesis was such, I froze TVs in ice and had them work. And so I had each TV at the time it was about dealing with network television programming. And so it was like 3 different TV sets, and then I froze them in ice, and you're doing a show with different other students. At the time it was like a graduate show to graduate. And so each TV was frozen in ice, and then I also put them on a pedestal and a large tray underneath it to collect all the melting of water from the darkroom to these developing trays. And then I also froze a microphone, fed it into a stereo receiver, and put in a cassette deck tape, which was like a loop, so we had like an endless loop. And then the microphone was frozen where the speaker would come in for the TV set. The concept was to record the ambiances from this gallery and feed it back in and then loop it back, and then of course the TV speaker initially be frozen so you wouldn't be so audible, but as the ice thawed you could be able to hear the ambiances, and then of course record a dialogue coming back to you, to the viewer, and then behind each piece of ice I put on this reflective mylar, which kind of gives a skewed image, because the image coming from the TV itself was skewed as far as, and they're all like black and white TVs, and of course you would see yourself on a mylar, because that was sort of not, it's not like looking in a mirror, it had a skewed image of your face, so it's kind of like being at the fun house. So it was called Jaded Glacier Age.
And then this got you to Matlock. Well, no, we don't want to skip ahead too much here. How does this get you into then being, recognized by, some of these big studios in Hollywood?
Well, okay, that was another journey, because I didn't know a soul in town. So it's more or less, I didn't have an established resume or a person fighting for me that would be like a relative at the studio saying, your front door is open for you.
That happens a lot.
It does. It can. So I just started doing whatever it took, working on a load of production things. You're doing a lot of things for free, just to start up a resume. And of course, on the hook was always to talk to people, was talking about the frozen ice TVs, because they're going to go, well, how did you do that? And of course, that establishes more dialogue with that person, makes them realize, well, you really can think outside the box, which is kind of what it takes to do what I do.
I had many questions about the Frozen TV, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to pursue that. So what was your first big break?
First big break was, boy, that is the movie Firestarter. It's like Drew Barrymore. Yeah, she was 10 years old, Stephen King novel. So I was at Warner Brothers, and I walked into this guy's studio, and he was the supervisor on the movie, and he goes, all is $100 in the budget. And I said, okay. So
clearly, if you see the movie, it looks like they had about $100 in the budget.
Well, it was early technology. So he says, I need you to come up with some sounds for the fireballs that she throws. And I go, okay. So I went off, and I had this little studio set up in our apartment at the time, and I just started recording organic sounds and then processing with, different audio things, and I just came up with different material for it. And of course, back then, this is way before computers, and so it was all done on film. I brought the material in, he listened to it, okay, he goes, great. And I go, that was kind of like the start of it, so that was a good show to be connected to as far as opening some doors.
Well, what did you think that first time that you went to, presumably the Cinerama Dome, or was it at that actual movie theater, when you saw your work up on the big screen of a Hollywood movie?
What was my impressions? I thought, great, things are starting to happen. So, because it's a lot of more being denied than, and of course, nobody knows you from Adam, so they're going to go, I don't know this kid, so what is he going to bring to the table as far as making this project work? So, in other words, and then the guy I was working with, he was well established in Hollywood, so more or less I had to, once I had that attached, then it's sort of like, it makes it like, oh great, I think I'm on my way. So I had to be, and of course you have to get more of those people attached. It's basically people believing in you that you can do the job.
Were you on your way at that point?
I felt I was. But it was more or less finding more people, because one project doesn't mean it's going to be that, going to be, shall we say, the green light to get you going. So more or less I had, you just got to keep building your resume more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the next things that you did that we may have heard of you from in those years that followed?
Okay, well, what comes up next would be working on the first Back to the Future movie, and then so after that we're recording sounds to process for the flying DeLorean in the movie. So there was that.
And can you tell us how you made the sounds of the flying DeLorean from the Back to the Future movie?
Well, it was more or less using a lot of process sounds for like jets and things like that, and just trying to make it more surreal, because it's it's supposed to be like a sci-fi kind of sound to it.
Which is what you said about Fireball, process sounds and everything. Well, what do you mean process sounds? You're going to like an effects library on tape or on record or digitally? Like, get a little technical there.
Okay, so one way to kind of break it down in a simpler format was I did this show called Space Camp. So it's about the Space Camp program for people going in space, and
Kate Capshaw, I want to say, mid-80s.
Right. And so they go, well, we got to come up with a sound of space. And of course, we all know there is no such thing. But you can't, the audience always wants to hear something. They don't want dead air. So you always got to have to entertain that. And so I kept thinking, what's going to be the sound of space? And then, again, we're still living in our apartment at the time, but we had like this double stack washer and dryer machine, maybe probably by a Kenmore product or something. And I was listening to the dryer drum just rotating. I'm going, it's kind of interesting sound. So I recorded it at various angles to get the sound I was looking for on 1/4-inch tape, and I put it on a tape machine, and I started playing with the speed of it, and I just slowed it down and slowed it down, so I had this kind of ambient drone to it. And they loved it, so it was like it was used in all the different shots. So that's to kind of break it down into nuts and bolts. That's a simple way of doing it. It's sort of like I said, being able to think outside the box and going, I think this is going to work, and then you start manipulating sound to come up with that, and you're thinking in your head it works really great, but are you going to be happy with the results too?
We're speaking with Gary Mihail. He is a recipient of the latest Beaver Dam Unified School District Wall of Fame Outstanding Alumnus Award. 30-year career in Hollywood, as we've been hearing. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear about some of his Emmy Award-winning work and Golden Reel Award-winning work. But we do have to take a break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with Gary Mihail.
AM 1430 WBEV Beaver Dam. Streaming live at Daily Dodge, brought to you by Beaver Dam Piggly Wiggly. Quick lane service at Countryside Ford in Columbus. No appointment necessary. Open 6 days a week. 10% military discount every Monday. Quick lane service at Countryside Ford, 330 Transit Road, Columbus.
Legend tells of a yearly tournament fought with wits and wisdom, with a final prize of $500.
Legend also tells that it's also best to think with a drink.
Think with a Drink traveling trivias at the Hitching Post in Manchester, Wednesday, May 29th. Sign up with your team from 5:30 to 6 and trivia until 7:30. Must be 21 and older. Win a $50 gift card to the Hitching Post with Think with a Drink traveling trivia. Think with a Drink is brought to you by The Boathouse, Maury's Bar, the Hitching Post, Rock River Tap, the Thirsty Beaver, and Bayside Supper Club.
This year's annual Dodge County Brunch is being hosted by the Robert Schwann Family Farm at W5660 Deep Fried Cheese Curds, as well as milk, juice, and ice cream sundaes. There will be activities for all ages, including music by Keith Getterman Band. Busing is available at Dodge County Administration Building in Juneau, sponsored by the Dodge County Dairy Promotion Committee. Be sure to like them on Facebook.
If you're ready to be part of a team that has a growth mindset, Good Karma Brands Beaver Dam is looking for an experienced marketing professional with a success-driven attitude, is passionate about building strong relationships throughout the community, and strives to help local organizations grow and strengthen brands. GKB Beaver Dam consists of legacy radio stations, WBEV and WXRO, and digital property, dailydodge.com. Interested candidates should send cover letter and resume to careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Bring the family to Beaver Dam Community Hospital's Safety First Open House on Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to noon. Free paper shredding from 9 a.m. until 11. Expired medication drop-off center, CPR instruction, and for the kids, a bike rodeo. Kids can bring their own bikes. Med flight helicopter tours at 11 a.m. and a chance to meet local EMTs, firefighters, and police. For more detailed information, visit bdch.com/event/safety-first-open-house.
From lawnmowers to lawn games, Fleet Farm has what you need to have the best backyard on the block. Whether it's season it, smoke it, grill it season, or make your lawn look like a golf course season. We've got something for every season of life, like patio furniture, mowers and blowers, plus grills and smokers, garden tools, and a huge selection of Midwest-grown plants in our garden center. There's a reason people say, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it, because we have it all. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
Prairie Ridge Health Clinics in Columbus, Marshall, and Beaver Dam have you covered, accepting most major insurances including Unity, Dean, Physicians Plus, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Alliance, and more. Columbus Community Hospital, building a caring relationship one patient at a time. To learn more, visit columbuscommunityhospital.org.
Run with the nurses, then bring the kids to Safety First event at Beaver Dam Community Hospital. It's all happening June 1st. The run starts at 7:30 with registration at 7 a.m. Proceeds will benefit the Blue Zones Project. Register online at bdch.com. Then bring the kids to the Safety First event from 9 to noon. Meet the local EMTs, firemen, policemen, and see their equipment. There's a bike rodeo, med flight helicopter tours, and so much more. Go to bdch.com for more info and all of the activities.
¿Buscas un lugar para obtener todas sus noticias locales en español? Estamos orgullosos de anunciar la nueva sección de Diario Dodge en dailydodge.com.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. We'll see cloudy skies here this afternoon with a high in the upper 50s. Winds out of the north at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance for some rain showers here late. Mostly cloudy skies, a low near 50. And northeast winds around 5 to 10. By Wednesday, a slight chance for some rain showers. Partial sunshine develops, a high around 67. And northeast winds around 5 to 10. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vujicic on your hometown station AM 1430 WBEV. Currently, it's 54.
101 from AM 1430 WBEV, streaming online at dailydodge.com. It is time for more of today's community comment. Here again is your host, Craig Warmbold.
And our guests are with the Beaver Dam School District Wall of Fame. We've got the recipients of the Friends of Education waiting in the wings. We're going to be speaking with Tom and Judy Heffron in just a little bit, along with the folks from the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society international Friends of Education recipients that will be at Beaver Dam High School Wall of Fame banquet this Sunday. I'm told by committee members that even though the deadline is passed, if you call today, call the Educational Service Center today by 5 o'clock, you could still get a seat or two to attend that ceremony. It's 11 a.m. on Sunday at the Beaver Dam High School. A chance to see the new Beaver Dam High School. We've got here, though, in this segment, the outstanding alumni for 2018, presented in 2019. It's Gary Mihail. He's had a successful 30-year career in Hollywood, nominated for 35 Emmys in sound design and editing, along with 11 Golden Reel Awards. We've got some of them here today on the program. If you want to watch us on the video stream, we're at dailydodge.com. Just click on the video tab. You'll also be able to watch that and listen back to this program after this show is over. So Gary, you started out as a sound effects designer, and you achieved the role of sound effects editor after too long. For our listeners who may not be familiar with what the distinction is there, can you explain for us and give us some insight into that arc of your career and how that came to be?
Okay, well, what a sound effects editor does is everything you see on film, meaning television or in a movie theater, is the production's not being used. So our goal is we have to affect everything, anything from the ambience in a room, be it an air conditioner or a washing machine running off stage, or anything on camera. So if you see cars go by, doors open and close, anything that's visual, we put material in it. And because we're trying to make a story even with a simple door open and close, because a lot of times when you're on a production set, the doors are hollow, so we want to create, it should be a heavy door, maybe a door squeak to it, so you're given a character, so it represents something, even though it's sort of just something that's taken for granted.
And I imagine you hear things differently in your everyday environment, don't you, than maybe the average person?
Yeah, I would say you're right on that. Things that it brings to my attention, I'm going, oh, that's a really cool sound. I'm going to use that for something. So you record it, and you may just store it away in your own private archive for another 10 years, and all of a sudden it pops in your head. I have that sound. I think I'm going to use it for now, because you never know when you're going to be able to use something, because I've done a lot of field recording with the military, recording fighter jets, helicopters, explosions, gunfire for weapons, and cars for car chases, and being able to use that material for my own purposes for different shows I worked on.
I imagine the distinction between a sound designer and sound editor is not unlike a news reporter and an editor, and that there's an evolution there. Tell us about your accomplishments as a sound design editor, or excuse me, a sound effects editor, that led to some of these Emmys and these golden reels that we've got here again today.
Okay, so through my time of when I was sound designing with my own company, a lot of the people kept saying, my editors, you should do something along with being a sound effects editor, because you have that knack of knowing sound so well, and you'd just be a natural learning how to become an editor. And I thought, okay, I should just do that. And so there was a project I was working on for Disney at the time, which was a miniseries for television, and the company I was doing the project for, because they did editing in a facility, they just said, well, we'll give you the tool set to learn how to do the editing in respect, because they figured it'd be great to have an in-house sound designer along with doing the editing as well.
And what's the first Emmy that you won? Or the first Emmy you were nominated for, maybe. We should take that back a step.
Okay. Well, the very first Emmy I was nominated for just before the first award, for that said project for Disney. It was called Earthstar Voyager. And then I was working on Quantum Leap at the time, and so I was nominated for that as well.
So in total, you've won, nominated for 35 Emmys, took home 8 awards, and 11 Golden Reel Awards as well. You bring the Emmys with you when you visit Mom and Dad and stuff like that?
No, I don't have an entourage of that. Today I just brought them because of the receiving that award. I thought it'd be kind of a nice thing to show people, because a lot of people don't get a chance to have that opportunity to like just see them in person versus being, just see them on TV per se. And then the Golden Reel Award, because that's a peer group award, it happens that time of year just around when the Oscars are, so every peer group has their own award event. And it's not, and the Motion Picture Sound Editor Award was established in 1953. And that, what all that encompasses is both film and television.
It must be quite an exciting accomplishment. What was it like to be able to call home and tell Mom and Dad that you have been recognized with such prestigious awards?
It was, I guess they were like very happy for me, and that things were starting to go in the right direction. Mihail, that deal making I made with my dad paid off. I don't know.
Mom, would we agree with this? Mom said. So we've got, you've reached a plateau in your career. You've had an opportunity to take home many recognitions. Now you work in post-production, so you're not necessarily there with Andy Griffith during Matlock or something like that. Do you have a chance, though, living in California? Do you rub shoulders with some of these celebrities from time to time?
It does happen to be at the time when you're at the studio, be walking down the hallway, and then there'll be some celebrity walking down the hallway and just say, "Hi, how are you doing?" Just for a brief chit chat, and you. I remember one time I met Gary Sinise, and we're working on CSI New York, and they just said, "Hey, I'm a big fan of your work," and he goes, "Oh, I'm more of a fan of your work because you're making my show happen." So it's very fulfilling, and there'll be times when you're just getting a cup of coffee, and then the showrunner, which is the person that's in charge of the show, that was a show I was doing called Men and Trees for ABC, and the gal that was in charge of the show, she was one of the head writers in Sex and the City, and she just walked over unannounced to me and says, "I really like your work you're doing on my show." And I'm going, "Oh, wow." So it kind of takes you by surprise, because a lot of times you just kind of leave them alone, and you're just there to do your work, and make sure you bring everything to the table is spot on perfect.
You've gotten acknowledgments from colleagues and celebrities, and of course Emmys and Golden Reels. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
Award-wise, I would say, actually there's two awards.
Career-wise.
Oh, career-wise?
Sure.
I don't know, that's a good question. Career-wise, I'm thinking it's just being able to fulfill what is in front of you for work, because each project brings a brand new set of problem solving. How are you going to approach it? Some things are very how are you going to use your imagination? It's sort of like when we did the movie The Hunley, when they found it off the coast of South Carolina, and it's like we did the movie The Hunley for TNT, and you go, what's it going to sound like? It's an old locomotive boiler, and then with an auger for propeller, and no one knows in the right mind what that sounds like. So it's just sort of like, how are you going to put sounds together for that? I guess that for me is very career satisfying. And then the director come in and listen to your work and go, "This is great. I think," or it's like you always have to tweak it a little bit. But if you're in the ballpark, you basically, career-wise, it's like you earning people's trust, because when you start a new project and you don't know anybody on, that the people are hiring you, your goal is you have to earn their trust. It's like the dating process. It's like you earn the trust, and then once you earn their trust, there's always going to be a little bit of tweaking going initially, but once you got your foot in the door, then that gives you that comfort ability and comfort zone to do your job, and thinks, that whatever you bring is going to be wonderful and fantastic. That for me, career-wise, was satisfying.
So you're being recognized as a 2018 Outstanding Alumni for the Beaver Dam High School. What advice do you have for kids out there today that are going to be graduating and following career paths of their own?
Well, when I was an adjunct at USC in their film department, your goal there is to nurture their dreams. So basically, when my first day of class, I asked everybody, "Okay, so who wants to be a sound editor?" It's not like there's not a lot of hands went up in the air, maybe one or two people, because they really had their heart set on doing it, because most of them want to write or direct. So I kindly said to them, well, this is a program that teaches you everything from top to bottom as far as nuts and bolts for this particular major. So you have the opportunity to learn everything that's presented to you because you have to take all those classes. So learn it well, because when you leave here, you just don't know where you're going to land on your feet. And I said, I'm using myself an example because here I am entering a MFA program that doesn't have sound design. So I try to learn as much as possible. And I also said to these to the students, I said, you know, someone told me earlier in life, he says, do good work, don't be a diva, and have a good sense of humor. People keep hiring you all the time.
Don't be a diva.
Yeah, just in other words, don't demand a lot. Just kind of like listen and do your job.
They don't have to separate the brown M&Ms when you do production work on a set.
That comes later in life.
So here you are, looking back at a 30-year career, recognized by peers, and now you're high school. What's it like to come back to Beaver Dam?
Well, it's always kind of refreshing to come back here because life is at a different pace here. So it kind of like makes you realize what was like growing up here. And, of course, when you're a kid, things are bigger than life than they really are. But it's always good to come back here and to see how things are and, appreciate where you came from.
What's next for you?
Well, right now I have, I'm a certified sommelier with the Master Court of Master Sommeliers out of Napa. And funny story is when I moved to Los Angeles, I had a beer, and the beer tasted horrible. So I started, because of growing up here, the water and the hops are very different. And so I started drinking wine. I figured, well, do as the Romans do, because that's wine country. And I really come to appreciate wines. Throughout the years, when I'm not working, Beth and I are able to go to different wine tastings. And so I've learned a lot with wine. A lot of times we're out dining, I will want to meet the wine director or the master sommelier. And so this one particular restaurant that we used to visit, because I always would quiz them about this or that, and they just said, you should do something with your wine knowledge. And I'm going, okay, what do you mean by that? Oh, you should work in the wine world. I'm going, well, I'm an adjunct professor, and I have my other career. And they said, I got to thinking, well, why not? I put a third thing in the hopper, too. So I went to a store, and one of the main wine shops in Los Angeles, and I just went into the manager of the store, and I said, hey, I like to work here. And he goes, and I told him, we just started talking wine. He goes, well, you have a vast knowledge of wine. I need to hire you. So eventually, I was brought on board. And so with doing that, and of course doing my other jobs, I decided I had the opportunity to learn 2 different levels of wine. And so it's kind of like going back to college, a lot of learning of wine and being able to work with it. And that's what I'm passionate about now.
Yeah. The professor, as you mentioned, who did you take over for at the university as professor?
Oh, at USC?
Yeah.
I don't remember the person's name.
Oh. I thought, didn't he create a little thing called stereo surround DTS?
Oh, THX.
THX.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just
that's
THX.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
How did I forget?
Yeah.
Big shoes to fill, it seems like. A worthy successor.
Yeah, so I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one.
So here, when we come to the end of the program, anybody that's listened to Community Comment knows that I've got just a few questions usually that I end with. Either, what do you want people to take away from this program? What are your final thoughts? My final question for you, because Back to the Future is my favorite movie, can you tell us some more about the sound of the DeLorean and how you made it?
Well, it was taking different sounds of like fighter jets and just slowing it down and processing. And then what you do is you're layering different tracks of different sounds. And then and of course, then you might have like 10 different tracks to create that one sound. And then, of course, when it goes to the mixing stage, you mix them all together to create the sound.
Come on, get more technical.
Well, some of the material is from sound effects libraries, and some of the different fighter jets are recorded at one of the Marine bases. So you're more or less, and then sometimes you're able to get inside the plane, so you're able to create record the different sounds from inside the interior of the jet.
So you created all the DeLorean sounds that we hear when he goes back from 1985 to 1955. That's you.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty awesome. And leave us with your final thoughts, if you would.
My final thoughts are just it's an honor to receive this award and to be in front of the high school I graduated from to accept this award. And it's just kind of it's a unique experience because it's, like I said earlier, it's getting an award from your peer group is very different compared to award that's for education.
Well, we want to thank you very much for joining us on the program today and sharing the story of your career and the providing the inspiration for that next generation to achieve their dreams. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Once again, Gary Mihail, a 1970 graduate of the Beaver Dam High School, who's been nominated for 35 Emmys, taking home 8 of those awards, along with 11 Golden Reel Awards for his work in television and films. He is the outstanding alumni for 2018, recognized this Sunday at the Beaver Dam High School Wall of Fame banquet. If you get in before close of business today at the Educational Service Center, our guests here tell us that you will be able to get a seat at the event if you would like one. 2 Friends of Education, technically 3, a couple and an organization are going to be recognized as Friends of Education at the banquet. Tom and Judy Heffron and the folks from the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma International. Ooh, I had it right the whole time until then. Delta Kappa Gamma Society International will be our guests here in just a minute when we return our community comment.
Legend tells of a yearly tournament fought with wits and wisdom, with a final prize of $500.
Legend also tells that it's also best to think with a drink.
Think with a Drink traveling trivias at the Hitching Post in Manchester, Wednesday, May 29th. Sign up with your team from 5:30 to 6 and trivia until 7:30. Must be 21 and older. Win a $50 gift card to the Hitching Post with Think with a Drink traveling trivia. Think with a Drink is brought to you by The Boathouse, Maury's Bar, the Hitching Post, Rock River Tap, the Thirsty Beaver, and Bayside Supper Club.
This year's annual Dodge County Brunch is being hosted by the Robert Schwann Family Farm at W5660 County Road, S. Juneau. Sunday, June 2nd from 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. This year's menu features scrambled eggs with ham and cheese, pancakes, a variety of cheeses including deep-fried cheese curds, as well as milk, juice, and ice cream sundaes. There will be activities for all ages, including music by Keith Getterman Band. Busing is available at Dodge County Administration Building in Juneau. Sponsored by the Dodge County Dairy Promotion Committee. Be sure to like them on Facebook.
When it comes to physical and occupational therapy, depend on Prairie Ridge Health Clinic, Beaver Dam, and Columbus. Their licensed athletic trainer provides therapy for injured athletes or athletes recovering from acute orthopedic surgery. The occupational therapists are skilled in treating patients of all ages. Whatever the problem, decreased range of motion, chronic pain, coordination, or fine motor dysfunction, the physical and occupational therapists at Prairie Ridge Health Clinic, Beaver Dam, and Columbus are ready to go the extra mile to make you well again.
Now also serving in Marshall.
If you're ready to be part of a team that has a growth mindset, Good Karma Brands Beaver Dam is looking for an experienced marketing professional with a success-driven attitude, is passionate about building strong relationships throughout the community, and strives to help local organizations grow and strengthen brands. GKB Beaver Dam consists of legacy radio stations, WBEV and WXRO, and digital property, dailydodge.com. Interested candidates should send cover letter and resume to careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Bring the family to Beaver Dam Community Hospital's Safety First Open House on Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to noon. Free paper shredding from 9 a.m. until 11. Expired medication drop-off center, CPR instruction, and for the kids, a bike rodeo. Kids can bring their own bikes. Med-Flight helicopter tours at 11 a.m. and a chance to meet local EMTs, firefighters, and police. For more detailed information, visit bdch.com/event/safety-first-open-house.
Listen to WBEV online anytime at dailydodge.com. Brought to you by Beaver Dam Piggly Wiggly.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 61. Northeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Chance for scattered rain showers. Lows zip down to about 50. Chance for scattered showers again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 67. Cloudy skies expected. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on your hometown station AM 1430 WBEV. Currently, it's 54.
AM 1430 WBEV Beaver Dam. Streaming live at Daily Dodge, brought to you by Beaver Dam Piggly Wiggly. Great news, Countryside Ford's detailing services are back. Get the price match guarantee at the Quick Lane service at Countryside Ford in Columbus. 10% senior citizen discount on Wednesdays. Countryside Ford, 330 Transit Road in Columbus.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 61. Northeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Chance for scattered rain showers. Lows dip down to about 50. Chance for scattered showers again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 67. Cloudy skies expected. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on your hometown station AM 1430 WBEV. Currently, it's 54.
Legend tells of a yearly tournament fought with wits and wisdom, with a final prize of $500.
Legend also tells that it's also best to think with a drink.
Think with a Drink traveling trivias at the Hitching Post in Manchester, Wednesday, May 29th. Sign up with your team from 5:30 to 6 and trivia until 7:30. Must be 21 and older. Win a $50 gift card to the Hitching Post with Think with a Drink traveling trivia. Think with a Drink is brought to you by The Boathouse, Maury's Bar, the Hitching Post, Rock River Tap, the Thirsty Beaver, and Bayside Supper Club.
The Heffron Family Foundation, American Bank, and WBEV WXRO are looking for great kids who could become our Kid of the Month. The first Kid of the Month is McKenna Nelson, a fourth grader at Washington School in Beaver Dam. McKenna is active at school. She's well-mannered, spends time with classmates who need help or are alone. One summer, she set up a lemonade stand and donated the profits to a young boy who is undergoing hospital treatment for epilepsy. Congratulations, McKenna Nelson. If you're a parent, teacher, coach, or any adult who knows a great kid from 4 to 14, you can nominate them to win a $100 savings account at American Bank, a free t-shirt, $10 gift cards to Walmart, Amazon, and St. Vincent de Paul, and a $15 certificate to Blue Boy. Enter your nomination on our website, dailydodge.com. You can also send your nomination to WBEV WXRO 100 Beaver Dam. Winners will be selected each month. All non-winning entries will be kept on file and will be eligible to win any of the following months through March 31st, 2020. Enter the great kid you know today.
Come and walk with an angel. Join us for our 11th annual Noel's Angel Walk on Thursday in Beaver Dam. This event is held in memory of our daughter, Noelle Ann Smith, and is part of the 2019 Children's.
For more information and to register online, visit dailydodge.com. Look for the Children's Radiothon link and click on the Radiothon Schedule of Events icon. Noel's Angel Walk is on Thursday, June 20th with check-in at 6 a.m. and walk starting at 7 a.m. Bring friends and family and choose between a 1 or 2.5 mile route.
Join us after the walk at Snacks in the Park, sponsored by Aramark and Nunatak Coffee. The Beaver Dam High School Marching Band will play for us too.
For more details, visit dailydodge.com or go to active.com. Noel's Angel Walk to register online.
Come to the walk, rain or shine, and walk with an angel. See you all at the Angel Walk, Thursday, June 20th.
Think pink. Dress pink. Bring pink. Be pink. Join the fun at the 15th Annual Pink Ribbon Classic Ladies Golf Invitational, Wednesday, June 12th at Old Hickory Golf Club. The Pink Ribbon Classic Golf Outing is a step-aside scramble that promotes breast cancer awareness and supports the University of Wisconsin Carbone Cancer Center and the Beaver Dam Community Hospital Breast Health Program. The event features golfing, raffles, prizes, lunch, and dinner. The day begins at 10:30 a.m. with registration and lunch. A shotgun start at noon kicks off the golf outing, and a silent auction, dinner, and educational guest speaker round out the evening. Sign up today by calling 920-887-7534. Be a part of the celebration and join in on the fun at the 15th Annual Pink Ribbon Classic Golf Outing. Call 920-887-7534. Just 4 spots remaining for the WBEV WXRO and travel leaders adventure in Ireland. 8 sensational days in September of this year. This is a totally customized tour. So whether you've been there before or if this is your first trip to the Emerald Isle, you'll be taking in the natural beauty, the history, the culture of Ireland in comfortable September temperatures. For more information on our September 2019 trip to Ireland, visit our website, dailydodge.com, and click on WBEV WXRO Trips.
26 minutes after 1 o'clock from AM 1430 WBEV, streaming online at dailydodge.com. It is time for more of today's community comment. Here again is your host, Craig Warmbold.
And our guests on this segment of Community Comment are, we're continuing our conversation here, looking at the recipients that are going to be recognized this weekend as part of the Beaver Dam School District's Wall of Fame Awards ceremony on Sunday. There's still a few tickets that are available. If you want to give a call to the Educational Service Center, ask for Mary, and she'll try to squeeze you in this Sunday. We're very happy to have Gary Mihail, the outstanding alumni, in on our first segment. We've now got the Friends of Education recipients here in this segment. Coming up in just a little bit, we want to thank the folks from the Alpha Xi chapter, the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International, for being so wonderful and patient. We'll be speaking with them in just a few moments, but first we've got Tom and Judy Heffron here in the studio with us. How are you guys?
We're good.
Just great.
Now, Judy, you've got some teaching that you've got to do, so we're going to get you here running along pretty soon. Tom, did you ask Gary what his favorite toy is so that you can be Santa Claus and make sure that he gets it here in the next week?
Well, it had to be something with sound. I'll have to ask him more than what he, because I always ask everybody that I know, what was your favorite toy as a child that you wish you had, that your parents threw out, or that you don't have anymore? And then usually I try to check my inventory of my 20 rooms of toys. And then if I have it, then I give it to the person.
And you know, that's one of those things that is a sign of the generosity of the Heffrons. And one of the reasons, maybe not written out in the paperwork, but really kind of one of the reasons I think you guys are being recognized as Friends of Education.
I guess.
It's indicative, if you will.
Why, but we're greatly honored that we were nominated and got the award. Especially as you see all the other people before us that have gotten it over the years, and a lot of wonderful people. So we feel very honored. And
well, and I used to serve on the committee when I was teaching for the district for a number of years, and it really is an honor because there are a lot of people that get nominated and a lot of people who have received it that have done some amazing things for kids and for the school.
Well, what does it mean to you to be recognized?
I think it's quite a recognition of the fact that we care very much for the school district. We care a lot for what kids are doing and how it can benefit kids.
We were kind of brought up to contribute back to the community. Yeah. And when you see things, especially when we go back in '85, after being gone for a few years with college and other career things, then moving back and realizing, you know, we really should then contribute just like our parents did to Beaver Dam. Because Beaver Dam is a wonderful community, great school district, all those kind of things, but it always could be better. And so you always try to look for projects. Right now we have about 10 projects going on that really try to contribute to make Beaver Dam and the Beaver Dam area better.
And you really start with these kids before they even get into school. We mentioned Santa Claus just a few minutes ago. You guys host Santa Claus at your house. You know, they're in there in their infant carriers coming in to meet Santa.
Some that have been only just like a week old. They bring them just to get that picture with Santa Claus. So.
And then they've grown up and brought their own kids, as it were. Tell us about some of those projects that have helped benefit the children in the Beaver Dam
I'm going to go
School
first
District.
because
You go
once
first,
he gets going, then but for me it's really been a lot about the music and being an elementary music teacher. That was important, and it was really nice being in the area orchestra and then working with Rich. And every once in a while I'd bring him a story and I'd say, oh, you have to listen to this. And so then it became important to have maybe a children's concert, you know, so that you could feature one of these pieces. I always remember The Remarkable Farkle McBride because it's a story that the kids at school really liked, and it introduced them to families of instruments. So we did that one, and music is very expensive, and a lot of the music you can't purchase, you have to rent. So then we said, well, hey, no problem. If you're willing to have the orchestra do this story, we'll gladly rent the music for you. So to me, it's been about being in a group that continues to encourage children then. So the orchestra, when kids see us having so much fun, being in this orchestra, playing this fun music and doing all of these things, I think then that encourages kids. So that's my big thing is music.
And we went to Rich back in the late 90s and you said, okay, you know, Christmas, children, now you need to have a children's Christmas concert.
Yeah.
And we'll sponsor it. Okay, and then we give out things, of course, because you always have to give out something to the kids at Christmas time. So since 1999, then we've been sponsoring the Christmas concert.
The only one that didn't go well was the time we gave out art kits, and about halfway through the second part after they got gifts, we could hear crayons rolling down, as the kids were opening up the crayons.
They were in black cases,
Yes,
and they had every type of art that you. I still have a few, a few crayons left in the nearly empty case for the youngest child at this point.
And there were things like when I had to buy 600 Grinches. And so then I went to, that came from Kohl's, actually. So I went to Rich, and I says, now I know you're not supposed to tell the music director anything, okay, about what to play. But I have 500 Grinches in my basement, and you're going to do something.
Something would be nice.
with this piece, with that story. So it worked out great.
You told him it'll be free for him to play it, but he'd have to pay to get. Well, that's a bad Rich Zeman joke. Judy, how important would you say music is in the educational development of a child?
I think that it is very important, and the other arts as well. But I know for me, it's always been about music because it just seems that it can make your day better. It can help with feelings and stuff. And I said I've noticed kids just really need to be in that movement, but doing dance with music or marching with music, it motivates them, it encourages them. I think that for some kids it's just a nice out from of maybe sitting at a table or sitting at a desk. So I always thought music was a really good break for kids. But then the youngest children don't often get the experiences, I read an article about kids up to second grade don't have, they're most musically neglected. So then that's when the kinder concerts started in our district, so that the kids in kindergarten and first grade get to go see the band and go get to see the orchestra, so that they realize people make music, not, CDs or, telephones or whatever, that it's really people who make music. So I think that it's really important for kids to know that they can do it.
And that got into the instruments with the Rotary Club.
Oh, yeah, that's...
That was Judy's idea, and actually making sure that there was something permanent at a park.
And fun and free.
And we're talking about Rotary Park now.
Yes.
One of the destinations on my longer dog walks. That would be the non-rhythmic person banging away at things that you would probably hear from your house. I'm sure, that was me. Yeah.
We can hear it from our house, and it's just really a pretty sound. And I said, it's so nice to go down there and see kids just running from one instrument to the other, playing away, and they sound really nice. So.
And it does lay a certain foundation, educationally speaking, when we're talking about rhythm and these greater concepts, and putting that all together and making those discoveries.
Well, and there's always, the idea that, when you give kids maracas and they've got one, that there's cross-body development, and there's a lot of brain study and research as to what music does. I know people always said I was wired differently because I was more of a musician than anything else. But it was something. I'm from a family of 9, and my mom made sure that each one of us took piano lessons, and then we all learned another instrument. It was something that kept us busy at the time, but we all still love playing music, making music. So.
Tom, what role would you say community involvement and community support plays in public education?
Well, I think it needs to be instilled as early as possible for the young children, but including when they get into middle school and high school, they need to do something, And so, and a lot of people do stick around the area or return back to the area like we did. So part of it is to make improvements, not just sometimes or nothing happens in Beaver Dam, whatever. I mean, a lot of things are happening in Beaver Dam, but there's always ways to make things better. And teach that to your kids, okay? There's different things going on. There was an article recently that the service clubs are changing. They're having a harder time getting members, harder time making more contributions. So we're working on a project now to see if we can improve that a little bit, not just service clubs, but also charitable giving. So we're working on that project right now, which is not public until later on this year. But part of it is to keep telling your kids to get them involved with things where they're giving something, whether it's 4-H or music or athletics or clubs or whatever, but they're giving back or just volunteering of some kind. We have kids that sometimes to Paul, we do a little volunteering over there. So anything to help improve both themselves as well as the community that you can instill in the kids is a great thing.
Tell us about the Heffron Foundation and some of the things that the Heffron Foundation has done for children, particularly school-age children in the community.
Well, I think that, you know, a lot of it has been what we've been able to provide for in some programs, like the music for the orchestra, especially when it's a piece that we know will appeal to children. We've also sponsored Opera for the Young a couple of times at some of the schools, and that was an amazing program because I know the first time it came into Washington School, the kids said, opera, we don't like opera. But after you see Opera for the Young, it's just like, are we going to do this again? You know, so anytime you can bring something new, a new experience, you know, to children. So for me, it's always been about the things that we've been able to bring. I know we brought Roger Drake one time and Tom Pease a couple of times, you know, so it was just like being able to, you know, bring something in so that kids could see something different, you know, so.
We're not used to talking about what we do.
No.
Here, Craig. So, I mean, part of it is you just kind of do things that come up. So we've formed this little family foundation, family fund, and we're looking for different projects to do. So one of the things that Judy always wanted to do was set up a community chorus, which is called One Voice. And so we paid for the t-shirts or whatever and helped with the theater to get that stuff going this year. So it just kind of projects that come up. We've always contributed to the toy bank because that's an extremely important thing. It's at Christmas time. Children always need to have some type of toy of some kind. So you just kind of look for things to do to help improve things. One of the things that came up driving about 3 or 4 months ago through town and through North Spring Street here was at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was still dark and you could hardly see the crossing guards. They were using the old wooden heavy stop signs. So I says, well, this doesn't look quite right. So then I called up Chief Kreitzinger, and he says, okay, I think you need some new things. I said, there's some new stop signs. Okay. Actually, I brought one.
Yeah. Our previous guest brought Emmys. Tom brought
stop signs.
See, which also means that if I'm talking too long, you can hold this one up. So I mean, so you know, but
you can see those. Yeah.
Do you get to use that at home, Judy?
I wish I could. It doesn't seem to work. It's always out of batteries.
Yeah. But that was, but part of it was the fact that the chief said, well, yeah, we do need some new ones, and there are these LED ones that are out there now. They're a lot lighter. They turn off when you put them down. And we do need. So then we bought, I don't know, 15 or 18 of them so that both full-time and part-time also, as well as the subs, have a better sign. So that just kind of came up because we were driving through town. And we said, well, there's a need here. So it just kind of happens. And I really encourage other people to just kind of look for other things like that, other projects like that. It's
well, I think the bottom line, too, is that we just always, I mean, Tom started out as a special education teacher. I've been a teacher my whole career, and I think that we just see children as being, you know, the most valuable part of society, and to be able to give them different opportunities or let them see different things or, you know, have concerts. I just think that we see that these children really deserve to have these experiences because then it brings about the imagination and the creativity. You know, how do you know if you want to be an opera singer if you never get to see an opera?
What does it mean to you, in closing, to be named a Friend of Education? Tom?
Greatly honored. Yeah. Okay. Can't believe it because we just kind of do things, just like many other people. They just do things for the community. Hopefully inspires other people to do some things for the community as well as for the Beaver Dam Unified School District. It certainly is an excellent school district and continues to grow and improve and always have different issues going on, but hopefully it gets other people involved as well.
Judy?
I think I feel really honored because I feel like I'm part of this community of people who have really cared for the children of our community. So I feel really honored to be recognized.
Well, I congratulate you on your recognition, and I look forward to the opportunity to see you presented with that Friend of Education Award on Sunday.
Thank you.
Once again, Tom and Judy Heffron, Friends of Education of the Beaver Dam Unified School District. They will be honored alongside the folks from the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International on Sunday, and the outstanding alumni for 2018, Gary Mihail, Sunday again at the Beaver Dam High School. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have an opportunity to talk to the folks from the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International. I love studio audiences. When we return here on Community Comment. Thank you.
This year's annual Dodge County Brunch is being hosted by the Robert Schwann Family Farm at W5660 County Road S. Juneau, Sunday, June 2nd from 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. This year's menu features scrambled eggs with ham and cheese, pancakes, a variety of cheeses including deep-fried cheese curds, as well as milk, juice, and ice cream sundaes. There will be activities for all ages, including music by Keith Getterman Band. Busing is available at Dodge County Administration Building in Juneau, sponsored by the Dodge County Dairy Promotion Committee. Be sure to like them on Facebook.
If you're ready to be part of a team that has a growth mindset, Good Karma Brands Beaver Dam is looking for an experienced marketing professional with a success-driven attitude, is passionate about building strong relationships throughout the community, and strives to help local organizations grow and strengthen brands. GKB Beaver Dam consists of legacy radio stations, WBEV and WXRO, and digital property, dailydodge.com. Interested candidates should send cover letter and resume to careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Bring the family to Beaver Dam Community Hospital's Safety First Open House on Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to noon. Free paper shredding from 9 a.m. until 11. Expired medication drop-off center, CPR instruction, and for the kids, a bike rodeo. Kids can bring their own bikes. Med-flight helicopter tours at 11 a.m. and a chance to meet local EMTs, firefighters, and police. For more detailed information, visit bdch.com/event/safety-first-open-house.
Legend tells of a yearly tournament fought with wits and wisdom, with a final prize of $500.
Legend also tells that it's also best to think with a drink.
Think with a Drink traveling trivias at the Hitching Post in Manchester, Wednesday, May 29th. Sign up with your team from 5:30 to 6 and trivia until 7:30. Must be 21 and older. Win a $50 gift card to the Hitching Post with Think with a Drink traveling trivia. Think with a Drink is brought to you by the Boathouse, Maury's Bar, the Hitching Post, Rock River Tap, the Thirsty Beaver, and Bayside Supper Club.
The Heffron Family Foundation, American Bank, and WBEV WXRO are looking for great kids who could become our Kid of the Month. The first Kid of the Month is McKenna Nelson, a fourth grader at Washington School in Beaver Dam. McKenna is active at school. She's well-mannered, spends time with classmates who need help or are alone. One summer, she set up a lemonade stand and donated the profits to a young boy who is undergoing hospital treatment for epilepsy. Congratulations, McKenna Nelson. If you're a parent, teacher, coach, or any adult who knows a great kid from 4 to 14, you can nominate them to win a $100 savings account at American Bank, a free t-shirt, $10 gift cards to Walmart, Amazon, and St. Vincent de Paul, and a $15 certificate to Blue Boy. Enter your nomination on our website, dailydodge.com. You can also send your nomination to WBEV WXRO, 100 Bill McCollum Way, Beaver Dam. Winners will be selected each month. All non-winning entries will be kept on file and will be eligible to win any of the following months through March 31st, 2020. Enter the great kid you know today.
Get the latest news, sports, and more by following Daily Dodge on Twitter at DailyDodgeBD.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 61. Northeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Chance for scattered rain showers. Lows dip down to about 50. Chance for scattered showers again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 67. Cloudy skies expected. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on your hometown station AM 1430 WBEV. Currently, it's 55.
14 minutes in front of 2 o'clock from AM 1430 WBEV, streaming online at dailydodge.com. Time for more of today's community comment. Here again is your host, Craig Warmbold.
And our guests are the recipients of the awards that are going to be handed out this Sunday at the Beaver Dam Unified School District Wall of Fame ceremony, recognizing an outstanding alumni and friends of education. We are streaming live here at dailydodge.com. If you want to check out the video tab, you can watch the video of today's program. We're also streaming an audio at dailydodge.com, and of course here on AM 1430 WBEV. We had an opportunity to speak with the outstanding alumni earlier in the program. Gary Mihail, 1970 graduate, went on to a successful career in Hollywood and sound design and sound editing. In our previous segment, we had a chance to sit down with Tom and Judy Heffron, who will be receiving Friends of Education recognitions on Sunday, along with our guests on this segment. They are with the Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International. We want to welcome into the studio Chris Lever and Barb Link. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Boy, that's been a mouthful. The Alpha Xi chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International. What, if you wouldn't mind, maybe we could start out talking a little bit about your organization, who you are, and what that all means.
Well, I'll begin with the fact that Alpha Xi has had a peculiar history. 90 years ago, when DKG was founded, Annie Webb Blanton named this organization for a reason, and the reason was that to get a society for women educators established, we were compelled to conform to the times. So 90 years ago, women were suspect if they got together for reasons that were not primarily social. We had to have a Greek name so that we could actually meet and have our teaching jobs not threatened. The new organization had to be a sorority-like name with a song, a pin, an invitation, and an initiation to protect the members from ill-advised or ill-intended scrutiny. The founders had to have components of a social sorority, even though they really wanted to get together for personal and professional growth of the women educators. And then in 2018, the Summer International DKG Convention passed or offered an amendment to change the name, but that amendment was not passed. So here we are, Alpha Xi.
Alpha Xi, chapter of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society.
The name that goes on and on. And speaking of how we became what we are today here in Beaver Dam, it was 50 years ago that the national organization started a state organization in Beaver Dam, or in Wisconsin. So our state organization started at that point 83 years ago, I'm sorry. And 50 years ago, teachers in the Beaver Dam district started the Alpha Xi chapter of Delta Kappa Gamma. So there's like 3 levels there. And I'm just going to give a few of the names of those women that were responsible for getting us started, and I'm sure some of the listeners will remember these because they were all teachers in the Beaver Dam district. Catherine Kane, Phyllis Frederick, who is still with us, and she will be at the banquet if she possibly can. Elaine Poseen, Norma Schlicker, Gladys Schultz, and Sadie Wickman. And those were very prominent names of women in Beaver Dam, and they were the ones that got it started. And life as a teacher in the late 60s was kind of like Chris had described. There were certain particular things you had to do. If you got pregnant and you were teaching, you were done. You could not be pregnant and stand up in front of a classroom and teach. Teachers that were female were not paid for the same jobs that the males had, so that was certainly something that was different. And I know a little later than that, when I was student teaching, teachers could not wear slacks to school. So you were out there with second graders on the playground in -0 weather in your skirt because you could not wear pants. So each generation that has come through for our organization had some more challenges for it.
Things have really changed over the years.
Yes, we are all paid the same now. And to be a member of our Alpha Xi chapter, You have to have been a current teacher or a teacher who is retired. You could be a school nurse, because school nurses are educating our kids in the classroom. You're a psychologist, speech and language teacher. You could be a Sunday school teacher. So if there's someone out there that's listening to this that is interested in literacy activities for children, then our organization is for you.
Wonderful. What has the organization meant to you over the years?
I think I have been a member for almost 35 years. And Chris was right behind me for that. We had a deal, as well as Gary had with his father. Our deal was, I'll co-president, but only with you. And Chris said,
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
And
so here we are together.
Right.
It's been wonderful to give the opportunity of literacy activities for kids. And just like Judy mentioned, that music. If you don't have a love of learning, you're losing so much. If you don't have a love of music, you're losing so much as well. So it's been wonderful to be delivering books to the hospital that are given to the families when they leave with a new baby. And they have a wide variety of books from us every year that they can pick from. And it's not just Beaver Dam Hospital, it's Portage Hospital, and I believe Waupun Hospital too.
Wonderful. Not unlike Tom and Judy Heffron, starting young with the kids, with Santa Claus being invited to their house and hosting. You get them 10 days earlier, it sounds like, in some cases, which is so important to lay that foundation for learning. And so important for parents to read to their kids.
And at the high school level, we do offer a writing contest, which is, again, connected to that reading. If you're a good reader, you're going to be a good writer. And at that point, we have a literacy contest that takes us from 3rd grade through the high school. This year, we did not have anybody from the high school enter, but last year we had.
And then if they win it, or if they are recognized at our level, we send those books on to the state level. And we had a few people recognized this year, one for his illustrations.
Matt Sether had for his illustration in his book. He won at the state level. And you'll see that we're going to have that book with us on Sunday.
Wonderful. You guys Christmas basket program as well?
That's what we were going to mention. We actually...
it's like I could read your minds.
We collected 100 books, and this is just solely from our membership that we collected those books and sent them to for the Elks holiday baskets. As Barb mentioned, we give a book to every family or every new baby, and a reading brochure, which I believe gives some other techniques on how to, include children in that reading process.
The importance of the reading as a parent.
And I think one of the other projects that we do is we create book bags that we give to the area preschool care centers. The book bags include a very popular book usually, and props, so that children realize that, it isn't necessarily always on a computer. They can actually do some, imagination playing with the props that go along with the books. And there were 17 of those given out this year.
17 child care centers.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you guys have a collaboration with the Beaver Dam Community Library that's very strong as well.
This year we had a group, it was a record crowd that attended for a Pete the Cat. And I can't remember the one that's coming up. It's something about
It's already been
pig.
selected.
Yes, it's been selected. And it's another very popular book with kids. Pig and the Elephant or something? There's an elephant.
Anybody in the studio audience help us out with that?
Oh, well. Anyway.
The librarian selected it, so.
Oh, wonderful. Very good. And it is important to have that collaboration with a library, a community library between educators and the foundation of literacy in our community.
And I'm always surprised at the library when we have that. It's always in November. And we have so many fathers that bring their children, and that's terrific. Children shouldn't think that just mothers read to them, but that fathers read as well.
And we've also been a part of the Read Dog program. We bring the reading dogs to the library. Some of them have been in the schools. They recognize my dog had gone to Jefferson for quite a few after-school programs, so.
And the kids would be in the hallway. They weren't saying, Mrs. Lever is here. They were saying, Poppy is here. So Poppy was...
I'm Poppy's mom.
Yeah, Poppy's mom was here.
And that's so important to have if you have a child who's struggling, to be able to give them the comfort of one of those reading dogs.
Actually, you brought one of your friends' children,
Yes.
and
I had a friend who had a young grandson, petrified of dogs. No reason for it, just petrified of dogs. And she was going to be in Madison that day, and I said, bring him up. And he sat with Chris and Poppy, and Linda still talks about how Chris got him over being afraid. It didn't happen right away. Poppy kept getting a little closer and a little closer, and Chris was right behind him, and all of a sudden they were together, and that was the end of it. He loves dogs and all.
So you help them with not only reading, but overcoming some fears in their lives and rising to challenges.
And I think that's true of all the literacy projects that we have, just giving kids an opportunity to not be fearful of books and reading, and to just, you know, enjoy it for what it is.
That's great. You guys did the Reading Apron, too, if I'm not mistaken,
Well,
right? That was your organization a while ago?
Actually, the apron kind of, we don't make the aprons anymore.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why they're now bags.
Oh, then you moved over to the bags, huh?
Yes.
But that was still part of the history of the Alpha Kappa Gamma Society.
We get together with stuffed animals. I don't know how many, hundreds of stuffed animals that they keep in the basement at somebody's house. And then we start picking out the animals that go with the book. And if there is one that doesn't quite look the same, we might do a little surgery and make them look like the animal that's in the book.
So you get your sewing needles out then? Is that what I'm to understand?
Well, yeah.
Anything in the interest of literacy.
You bet.
Wonderful conversation, and congratulations on your being named recipients of Friends of Education as part of the Wall of Fame ceremony. Leave us with your final thoughts about what it means to you and your group to be recognized as Friends of Education.
Well, we're very honored as an organization to have been selected, but we were selected also because of the help we get with the collaborators, to the library, the hospital, those 17 child care providers that we have, Noontime Kiwanis, the Portage Kiwanis help us as well. So we wouldn't be where we were without those people. We certainly would love to have more people involved in our organization, because there's never an end to how many students we'd like to reach. And we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary on August 18th at the Watermark. And we'll have displays and yearbooks of years past, of just a time to educate other people about our program, to see if they would like to join us as well.
Very simple to become a member of your group if you're an educator?
Give a call to Barb Link.
You're in the book.
I'm in the phone book.
Very good.
I was going to say, I did not know anything about Alpha Xi until Joan Elsesser, an art teacher, came and asked me, you know, would I be interested in this? And I thought, well, I'll give it a try. So I went to a few meetings, and I thought, yeah, this is something that I could give back. I know Gary had mentioned that, you know, it's important to give back, and Tom as well, that I like being a part of a group that is able to give back, not just monetarily with a scholarship, but beyond that. So.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me on the program today and sharing your story, and we look forward to the next opportunity to sit down with you and hear more about what it is that the Alpha Xi chapter does in our community.